Well, the big news out yesterday was that Williamson's tea issuing that special dividend of 50 cents per share, representing a yield of 20%. What did you make of those news?
Well, the news actually did come in as a surprise in terms of the amount of dividend per share that the company has decided to pay out. Though earlier in the year at half-year results, management had commented that there was that material information in terms of the profitability owing to the sale of a prime estate, a prime building in Nairobi's financial district. The real surprise has been actually exactly how much the company has decided to pay out in terms of a dividend, that is 50 shillings.
We saw a bit of a rally coming through for the share in today's trading session. Can we perhaps see further upside to the stock going forward?
Well, at this point, there are some questions as to relating exactly how much further the stock can be driven forward in terms of this particular piece of news. Because right from the half-year earnings all through, we've been seeing quite some growth on the share, and being up 46 shillings on the day, it's beginning to look unenticing for a buyer at this stage, because we have to keep in mind that the counter is particularly illiquid, and with the dividend books closure coming out very soon, that is on the 15th of February, sometime next week, for the buyer, you really have to consider the downside effect, because many times illiquidity is a double-edged sword. So for those who are in the stock right now, a pretty good time to sell. For those going in, would be advised to be cautionary.
Unenticing for the buyer at this stage. Do you perhaps hold the stock, or do you have other favorites within the sector?
At this point, I think there are better picks in the agricultural sector. One of them being Kakuzi, another one being the closely related Captoria tea. So I think those are probably better picks at this stage in time, and it would actually be advisable for one to sit back and have a look at the strengthening Kenya shilling, which really has been behind the tremendous growth of the profitability as far as the agricultural stocks are concerned. So as far as the agricultural sector is concerned, it really is a shilling play.
Yeah. Kimathi, if we could just go back to Williamson Tea, I mean, the fact that they are announcing such a special dividend, there is an argument that why not buy the stock at these levels so that you do get the benefits of the dividends? Or would you say that now is not the right time, given the fact, as we mentioned, it is up 19%?
Yes, actually, I don't think it would be a particularly bright idea to go long on this stock at this time, because this special dividend is non-recurrent. Okay,
yeah.
So if you happen to get into it and getting out because of the stock's illiquidity becomes difficult, then you're probably stuck in, and the price correction once the dividend is paid out or once the books close is likely to be far more severe than the upside has been over the past day or two.
Well, a stock that has been rather volatile over the past couple of weeks has been TransCentury. It's down about 6% thus far this year. Have we had any further clarity on the company's acquisition of Civicon?
Unfortunately, on TransCentury, the information relating the deal with Civicon has been rather scarce. We have not had any news coming out publicly in relation to that deal, apart from last November when the shareholders held an extraordinary general meeting to approve the proposed acquisition. So far, the company is still trying to obtain some regulatory approval, specifically from the Monopolies Commission, to give the deal a go-ahead. But that aside, the real questions we have concerning the deal surround exactly how the payout is to be made, if it's a cash transaction or not. And that aside, what management has given us is that the acquisition is likely to have a material impact on driving forward the assets and the profitability of the company. So at this point, unfortunately, with TransCentury, we could use improved investor relations.
Now, looking into the coming week, we have earnings from Barclays Bank. They are expected to come out with earnings next week. What are your expectations on that front?
Well, with Barclays, the expectation is that the profitability will hover just about 10% over the previous year, that is 2010. Throughout last year, they unfortunately seem to have been the laggards in terms of the profitability growth comparing with the other banking stocks. And at Q3, that is in September, they had an increase of about 10% over on a year-on-year comparison. So with Barclays, it's an issue of a cautionary play. And the news just in is that there already are some substantial executive changes expected to come in. We have the COO, that is the Chief Operating Officer, leaving the company. And earlier on, we had seen that the Managing Director of Barclays Kenya was actually setting his sights away from the company because he was actually a lead contender for the Kenya Revenue Authority position. So it begins to look as if people are kind of jumping ship, and the results really weren't as stellar as many would have expected. So going forward, one would expect to see increased staff rationalization coming in, increased cost containment measures.